Why, hello there, my fellow colony builders. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Going Medieval, Tower of Knowledge. Episode 14, The Foundations of a Great Hall. We're at 24 Chronicles. We have all 3 kilns firing up. And we only have a tiny bit of walls left to do. So once this wall section is done, I won't forget about this wall section. So that we have a fully fortified wall perimeter. Where is my clay? Okay, we have a lot of clay. Cool. And the stock room's looking a little tidier. We freed up like 15 slots or so. Not quite 15, but we're closing in on it. And we have a lot of linen, too. We'll use it, I am sure. So the question for you guys, now that I'm nearly, I have a few things to pull on. Now that I'm nearly done getting fletching, I'm thinking about more research. I could research armorer. That goes a bit hand in hand with blacksmithing. We could get Research 3. Not that I have any other Research 3 projects up, potentially. And then an ornate bookshelf. I'll include... Actually, that requires Research 3. Never... no, it doesn't. It's a handbook. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So let's include these as the poll. And then after this, I'll poll about what our next construction project is. A curated short list. All right, Alfred, it's time for you to leave. Please. I'm going to start triggering harvesting of the red currants out here that are ripe. Because we have a lot of meat. We've got like 700 meat, but we don't have a lot of things that go with the meat for meals. And, now that we're in, like, mid-spring, a lot of these berries are indeed hitting their ripe phase. And we don't actually have any of this stuff, like, growing back here. Right? So, might as well get it from out there. There we go. That is the final wall of the immediate perimeter, minus this section, which is going to get built now. So we have a fortress. We are a fortress island, I would say. We don't have, like, defenses all around it, but, Bradlock here, obviously, as you can see, is struggling to figure out how to even get back to the island, because you have to do a considerable amount of swimming. Ciceron's doing an awesome job breaking down all the junky junk. Look how much space we have. We just keep removing more and more of like the low tier leather. It's great. And it looks like defensive structures is going to be the research project. So here we go. Fletching. Tier 2. Before I go any further, I'm going to save up for defensive. What I want to do is I want to pull what to build next. So I can build workshop, great hall, bedrooms. Those are the only things I want to consider. And I will continue to finish the perimeter wall because we have a little bit of space. left. Oh, nice. Some of these trees are getting ripe too. Quince and walnut. Unfortunately, the path out to our stockroom is like getting blocked by trees gradually over time. To be fixed. In time. Wow, Alfred's really making himself at home. Like, I've wanted him to leave for a long time now. He's just like, nope. Oh, I'm staying. Alright, there's only a single wall section left to build. Did we destroy the roof? We did. I don't care. It still functions as a roof, even if it looks wrong, because that's not a permanent bedroom. Or chamber or whatever. Alright, merchant is leaving with all the animals we sold him. I love how they leave via the water. Like they're gonna swim home. Like, how deranged, but it's hilarious. No, 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 Redlock, don't do that to me. Don't make it 99% of the way there and then just be like, yep, pff, job's done. So now we can walk around the entire perimeter of the map. Which, interestingly, we can treat this as a walkway if we want. Building other structures off of the wall like we did here. Using it as like a ringed thoroughfare around the base, if we wish. And now that we have a full perimeter, I can get rid of these doors, which protected our archers, because the doors existed so that swimmers couldn't swim, bypassing our walls and coming up and attacking us, but these doors serve very little of a purpose now. If you haven't voted yet, feel free to vote. I'm going to give one more minute on the polls, because it's a dead heat between Workshop and Great Hall. Just about a dead heat. And I'm going to put a iron nugget queue until we have 100 iron nuggets. Or bars, ingots, rather. As far as the farm goes, to ripe is correct. I'm just making sure everything is to ripe, and it still is. Let's check up on our mash. So here's our mash pile. Oh, did we end up... I think the ambient temperature changed, which is why it's slowing down, because I don't think we have actually fermented anything yet. This is just the original 20 fermenting mash, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, Team Great Hall wins. Copy that. So, here's the deal. I'm going to be relocating the dining table temporarily to the entryway. I know it's weird, but you know what? That's going to be physically in the way. But there's a reason for this. And I'll update the priority. We're going to be researching Def 2 and building a Great Hall. So I'm planning on moving our, let's move this brazier here so it's not blocking. I'm planning on moving these two beds over to get rid of this here. Because the Great Hall is going to go in this area. Now, after we get Defensive Structure 2, I'm going to get research related to the Great Hall thereafter, as it is essentially a requirement, as far as I'm concerned. So Defensive Structures 2 is just another 30 Chronicles, and we're on our way there. Ooh, it's a foggy morning. Look at that. Another thing we're going to need to do is to move the clay kilns, as they are very soon to be physically in the way for the projects we want to build. Come on, constructors, move the table already. Guess they're just busy. As long as I mean, no one's idle right now, so it's not like we have anyone that's like sitting around not doing anything. All right, there we go. Starting to move things around. Good. I'm going to change the intensity of this to low now that we're later in the season. And I'm just going to turn the torch entirely off. As this is less of like an eating room, we don't really need it to be lit. The wooden hay beds are going to be moved over here to the shared bunkhouse of 8. Even with the cannibal. And this is not the Great Hall, mind you. Just the entryway, temporarily where we dine. Okay, getting rid of the old gatehouse that we had temporarily. And then we'll work on building a Great Hall. I am paste in the queue again. And as the kilns finish, I'm going to want to move them. I'm also going to relocate some of these to the roof. Just so that they're like out of the way. Because this will probably be another stock room, another floor of the stock room eventually. But, like, we can have it temporarily be a roof. Also might want to pull this clay brick stair back and put a wall there. I'm thinking about that at the very least. Alright, so dismantle forever. Anything that is flimsy or sturdy. Done. Put that dismantle bill back. And the blacksmith itself didn't have any bills. One thing I wanted to check is, do we need longbows? So that's going to be marksman 10 plus. And I'm just going to go through our population. No. Literally no one but Klein needs one. And Klein... Not Klein. No one but Radlock needs one. And Radlock already has one. Got it. So there's no bows that we're going to be making here for now. Glitch is allowed to cook, but is unskilled. I got rid of it. Okay, we already smelt items for metal on our smelting furnace, so I don't really need to have a duplicate bill over here. It would be redundant. We could start making mechanical components, but I don't have need of them just yet, so I'm not going to add it for simplicity's sake. And now we're starting to break down the temporary gatehouse, get rid of that for good. Because what I want to do is I want to make room for our Great Hall. The Great Hall is going to go right over this stairwell here. So slowly moving everything away from that section. Who's idle? Raymond Baker is idle. How? Doesn't really make sense because I have mining 5. So there's mining tasks to be done, which means that they literally cannot be idle. They're just lazy. They're just like, yeah, I'm not gonna go find a job. I'm gonna do nothing instead. So we're cleaning up the old gatehouse. We might want to have like a path at some point. I'm not going to worry about that right now, but eventually it makes sense to have proper path, like road pathing and the like. Now let's go plop our kilns up top too. Moving them one at a time so I can copy and paste the bills, including the coal one. I'll leave the smelting furnace there for now because it's kind of out of the way. Looking good. Oh, and cheers. So the next step is to remove the like temporary animal ranch pasture thingy. And what I'm doing here is I am going to prevent the animals from having access to my my farmland. Eventually, I intend to not have animals, but I don't want to just slaughter them because I don't need the meat, so I will sell them when it's appropriate. So what I'm doing here is I'm laying out a fence just to keep the farmland separated from them so they can't just eat what they want. They have to, you know, they have to eat the animal feed that we make them. There we go. That should separate our farmland out from everything else. Once it's built. So we have the... Oh, that was clay soil. Ugh. Alright, let's fix that. I keep making that mistake. I keep putting clay instead of soil. Time to get rid of it and fix it. Clay walls and soil look like nearly identical in the the architect menu, which is why I like keep making that mistake. Alright, looks like we need a little bit more dirt to finish it up. That's fine. There we go. So once the fence is built, I can then break down the walls here. Oh, more hostile animals. Polecats. But they're going to get themselves killed. Polecats aren't going to be able to kill the animals on the map tile with impunity like a bear could. They're going to fight a wolf and then die. There we go. So, almost a full wicker fence. Once the full wicker fence is done, which will be in just a moment, we can start breaking down the old walls here. Hold up. It picked walls on the floor below. So, I'm going to hit single layer, not all layers, because it triggered all layers. So all buildings on this single layer will be correct. And I think that's what I'm aiming for now. Are the altars blocked? This one is. This one technically wouldn't be because you could access it in the farm, but I'll move them all the same. Alright, this was the zone for dirt, which I'll move back here. Just making sure that, yep, I don't see any deconstruction in our cellar, so it was unaffected. Now the animals can, you know, they're going to do some weird things, but they can wander freely. They just can't get through this door. They can't get into our stockroom. They can't get into the farm. So they're restricted where they should be restricted from. So we've freed up this space, in other words, for a ranch. Or for a great hall, rather. Alright, kilns. Let's move them up. And this is not going to be the crafting room. I'm just reiterating. Alright, all the aggressive animals were dealt with. Yeah, no kidding. I saw that coming from a mile away. Storing clay here doesn't really make any sense anymore. So I'm going to make a new zone up here for it. Copy. Paste. And delete. And then the same with the clay bricks. Still, we could use wood here because of the pyre, but ultimately it's probably not worth having that zone there either, so maybe I'll move it. So, let's move the clay bricks. And the building wood. Because we don't really need building wood anymore. Not there, at least. Oh, I can't paste it because I deleted the original zone. Clear. Materials. Raw. Wood. Oh, I could have copied it. Whatever. Alright. There we go. So we are moving a lot of the stuff that would otherwise block us from being able to expand. And here, as you can see, this is like the ranch zone. It's odd that the animals can like free roam wherever, but that's because that's where I want to build the Great Hall. Now, before I endeavor building a Great Hall, it's important to note what is going to be required of it. If I could remember the color, here it is. So it needs a minimum grid space of 50. It is a Great Hall. It cannot have beds, shrines, or workstations. It needs a large or medium table, at least 6 stools or chairs, wall banners, decorative shield racks, decorative trophy racks, or decorative weapon racks, and then 4 torches, wall torches, candelabra, or candle sconces, or braziers. And that's not a small room, in other words. What is also going to be important is that this stairwell here, I'm going to have 2 stairwells in the middle here. So what I intend to do to fix for you all that are like freaked out about this weird stairwell misalignment is the stairs that go down will be to the left. There will be stairs that go up to the right. And then the middle is aligned with this. So it's not symmetrical exactly anymore. Although the gatehouse could be moved over 1 to bring it in line again. And that would be actually rather easy. Moving the gatehouse over 1 is like not a big endeavor if like symmetry is really killing you all. But the intention is to have our Great Hall have stairs that go upwards to the Great Library. So if you can picture this, the Great Hall will be a single floor here. And then the library will be a tower above it going up, maybe circular. I, in fact, might want to make all of this circular given the island is circular. And there's a bit of a trouble with that only because the farmland is a bit in the way if I want a circular room. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to have these stairwells for the structure enclosed. And then the Great Hall be surrounding it. Like that. The other thing that we could consider, just so that it's not so like heavy in terms of structure, is incorporating windows into it. If I knew how to rotate things. So there's these double wide windows that you can build, which, actually, let's do it like this, which might make it look nicer, putting them in. And that way it looks far less heavy. And more regal. Obviously, in this area, it doesn't really make sense to have windows because it would be a window into a wall. And then we could even design it to not have void space, so that it's more like that. And I think that's a better use of like building material, etc., etc., etc. In order to try to make it look circular-ish, I'll do my best. The other thing is we might want to consider what will physically need to be put there as a layout. So if we had like a large table, forming it around the space. So obviously this thing is made of limestone. That's what I queued up with. And that's going to be rather expensive. So what I might want to end up doing is planning on the farmland that we have so far being removed. To some degree or another. But in order to meet its floor space requirement, we're going to need like a rather large room. Maybe something, maybe more like an elongated building like this, because the island is more long than it is wide. And this will allow us to have a lot of floor space. It will allow us the decorations required. We could even have the stairwells go up symmetrically. That would be another thing that we could do, so that you can go up the stairs either direction. And truth be told, I don't think we would... let's do it like this. Because we don't really need the door on the bottom. And if we did like this, we could have an open stair design. Not that there's like, you know, not OSHA compliant railings. I like it. It's weird, but I like it. And then the door here is to temperature insulate the bottom more. Now, what will end up happening as a result of building this door, and don't worry, I know, is the animals will no longer have access to their animal feed. So that is going to be a problem that we're going to have to solve. But that's, you know, easy to solve. I'm going to put the animal feed, like, let's say, here. So mousing all the way down. Animal feed copy. Paste. And as a result of that, having a lot less like animals in our cellar also means that it should cool down a bit, because their body heat going up and down the cellar constantly is was adding to the ambient temperature of the area. So the tiles, we have 124 brick tiles. I didn't want the room. Actually, I want to try to, now I think about it, I want to try to make this a little bit more rectangular. Which will absolutely eat into my farm. Or oval shaped. And we have enough food. I don't care if I eat into the farm. So this is, and the reason I'm designing it like this is it's essentially the base of the tower. And because it's the base of the tower, I want the tower to have some sort of like circular design. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll build like this. So we'll have an oval-shaped tower. And yes, this is incredibly expensive. But, you know, it's fine. We'll get it done. It also means that this will become walls. So I'm going to shrink the zone of the farm just like that. Come on. Come on, farm. And we have enough seeds and crop yield that I'm not worried about the crop loss here at all. I'll probably put the table in front so that it's closer to the stairwells to the cellar. And then we can put other stuff back there. So, a great hall. And the reason why I wasn't too worried about the research required for this is I knew that oh, you know, I'll move this over like that. I knew that it was going to be a really large project, meaning there'd be plenty of time to catch up on the research. So I'm just putting a clay brick floor here so the food doesn't decompose, and then a little ceiling over it so it doesn't get rained on. Again, a temporary solution. I don't really intend to have animals full stop, so eventually it will be a known issue. I may also want it to be 1 unit wider. Like this. No, I'll settle for this. It really like fits the shape of the island quite well, I think. Well, leave it be. Question for you guys. So the bridge out to our island was always a temporary one. I said that because it's made of wood. At some point, when I make it out of a non-flammable material, we can move it over one. And this is not the final form of the gatehouse anyway. So I guess when we redesign the gatehouse, when the like Great Hall and other stuff are built, we can consider realigning this to center, whereas this here is the center point, nudging everything over one. I'd be okay with that, and then it will look a little bit more symmetrical again. Would I need the left wall? I think it looks nice. This left wall looks nice, because otherwise it's just like a death pit. It looks like a death pit. So I don't need it. I don't need most of this. I just think it's attractive. Another friendly visit. All right, where are you? Just run around with a polearm. Cool. Wouldn't the windows ruin the insulation? I don't care. Settler is becoming annoyed. What is your mood? Hungry for booze? You're just simply hungry. Being simply hungry probably indicates we aren't cooking fast enough. I'm gonna put Cicerone back on it. No, we have stews, so it's just like they haven't eaten. Alright, day sleeper. Let's talk to Brent. Barley, carrot seeds, cabbage seeds, compote. Not that we really need it, but it's something just to buy. I'll even take some rough wine. And you... Yeah, give me your stick traps. I don't know. It's completely worthless. And now you have a little bit more buy power. So, where are my saplings that I don't want? Oak sapling, maple sapling. Birch sapling. I guess I won't buy cabbage seed or carrot seeds. barley. There we go. All right, so overview of domestic. We have got Air Dog. He's the only one that survived the culling. Psych! He's gonna die too. So let's not worry about that anymore. All right, down in the stove, animal feed, not gonna make it anymore. All the wicker fences, destroy. Wicker gate, destroy. And then the pen marker, destroy. Thank you for tuning in to Going Medieval Tower of Knowledge, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow librarians.